At long last, it's time. Monopolized is an achievement in the Master Chief Collection which has you beat Halo 2 on Legendary in under 3 hours. This one was a doozy. Halo 2 Legendary itself is not easy to overcome, so doing it with a time constraint adds even more pressure. This one's hard, this one's rough, and it's the least obtained speedrun achievement for a reason. It's also far, far more technical than any of the other runs. Let's jump in.
You look nice.
Thank you.
I've managed to break down all the levels in this run into 3 categories. Category 1, short and easy. Category 2, short and rough. Category 3, long and rough. There is a single outlier, but we'll get there. Cairo falls into Category 2. It's a really short level, jam-packed with combat. Thankfully, we can sidestep or skip some of the encounters, like the opener where we wait for the enemies to pour out the door and run on through. I did opt to kill a lagging grunt for his plasma pistol and then stroll on by the rest of the enemies. This room can be avoided by doing this jump here, meaning we can just noob combo this elite and head into the hangar. Hangar 1 is easy enough. Noob combo and lob grenades until everything is dead. There's a huge stockpile here so you will not run out. After this we can wait up here for the enemies to come out the door and run by again. Hangar 2 is slightly harder, but take 2 plasma pistols up top and you'll be golden. Just blow through everything and it'll be over before you know it. Speedrunners would nab this sword here to perform the main tech of the run, sword flying and sword cancelling. Neither of which I can effectively pull off a mouse and keyboard within a macro, which kinda feels cheap to do so there's no sword flying from me, I'm afraid. We can do a similar jump we did earlier in this room, using the cover placed here to bypass more enemies, and if we jump through this window, we skip another encounter and walk on through. The rest of Cairo is straightforward, noob combo after noob combo, a small drone encounter, and then the final room full of elites which we dispatch with our trusty plasma pistol and my beloved battle rifle. Once the final elite is dead, we're done with a time of 13:33.
Dear humanity, we regret being alien bastards.
Welcome to our first Category 1 level. This mission has an infamous holdout section which introduces sniper jackals to the game. The worst enemy ever conceived by man, but that's slow, so let's just do this grenade jump and get out of bounds. We can walk across the rooftops all the way to the driving section where we grab a ghost and drive onwards. Eventually we want to swap for a warthog that magically spawns. The marines here are really good at tanking damage, which makes it far more consistent to get by. We drive until the game tells us to stop and end the mission with a time of 6 minutes and 6 seconds. A total time so far of 19:39.
If God is love, then you can call me Cupid.
Another Category 2 level, and I hate this one with a passion. If I ever decide to start doing full game runs of Halo games, I will never do Halo 2, because of this mission exactly. Much like Outskirts, we want to take a warthog and just drive forward into the tunnel. You're meant to dismount here, but you can drive up this ramp and keep on going. The first hard trick is here, where you want to drive between these vehicles and swing your warthog left to right to perfectly climb this ramp and coast on by everything. Once you're outside, you keep moving and pass the Scarab to this outdoor section. If things go right, you want to drive past the Jackal snipers and ram this Wraith, boarding it and using it to spawn kill some ghosts and pop the other Wraith. We head indoors, and usually you'd want to do a cool grenade jump to board the Scarab early. In practice, I really never managed to pull this off once, and I could never do it in a proper run. So instead I did the Scarab clear normally, lost some time doing that, but honestly this level was making me tear my hair out. In fact, I streamed some attempts of this where you could see me losing my mind to checkpoint luck and sniper jackal nonsense. If you were there, thank you, but I'll never forgive you for forcing me to play Gravemind. I got this level in 12 minutes flat, giving us a total time of 31:39.
What would you have your Arbiter do?
Yet another Category 2 level, this time he plays the best character in the franchise. We start this level like all the rest by killing Covenant. We do this to skip dialogue and make certain doors open faster. We use Arbiter's camo to sneak past the first encounter and activate the lift from behind. We do this so we can exit faster without alerting enemies and camo on by to the button to open the hangar. Using the beam rifle we nicked at the start, we can snipe the sentinels and heretics. This is made far easier as they're distracted by our phantom, making them easy snipes. After the 3 fuel rod grunts are dead, we want to beeline for this door. Once it opens, we want to whack this heretic and jump over the swordman, camoing as late as possible to then sidestep more enemies and enter the next room. I'll wait it up top for the camo to recharge so I can use it to cross this room safely. Going down the spiral hallway, it's even more camo abuse and using sword lunges to clear ground quickly. After sidestepping more encounters, we head outside and grab a banshee. Usually the game sends you from place to place to search for the heretic leader, but if you know where he is, you can skip this and just end the level. I got a time of 6:57, not the fastest, but it'll do. Total time so far of 38:36.
That stench. I've smelled it before.
This is the outlier mission I mentioned earlier. The first half of this mission is kinda rough, but the latter half is completely free. This is Halo 2's introduction of the Flood. An unpopular opinion, this is the best incarnation of the Flood. The crit spot makes them easy to handle, and the sword is an amazing way to deal with them in a heartbeat. The lift here is an unfortunate auto-scroller, the first of many. We hold off waves of Flood and Sentinels until we can get off. Luckily there is an early dismount we can do if we want to save some time, and head into the next holdout section. Here we have to fight both Heretics and Flood until the game tells us to stop, and then we can head outdoors. I head up the left path as the enemies are far easier to camo past. Once in here, we clear all the enemies, and the Heretic leader locks himself indoors. Now comes my favourite trick of the run. We hit the elevator button from the back and immediately press it again. If we stand underneath and let it crush us, it'll launch us upwards, saving time and making us completely invincible for the rest of the level. This trick puts the next section on a timer, however. Once we cut all the cables, we have a short time to get back down the shaft. We need to jump down at the right time as to not hit the fall timer, but if we wait too long the lift will spawn and we'll be trapped. Once we hit the bottom and fight against questionable gravity, we get a small 5-second Banshee ride and a backtrack through the previous level. This boss is super simple as we're completely unkillable. We just sword swipe, wait for him to leave, look for the cubby where he's holding up and stab him once he comes out. Rinse and repeat and that's the end of the level. I got a time of 2016, the longest so far, bringing us a total time of 58:52.
Once you leave the ship, you're on your own.
Our first category 1 level in quite a while and maybe the second easiest level in the run. We spawn in and grab this ODST's battle rifle, and after killing some grunts we want to walk forward to hit a trigger, then walk back to spawn. You can easily platform out of bounds here with little to no effort and walk to the next section. As we descend the hill, we want to rocket this ghost to stop elites from following us and then grab the intact ghost next to it. If we line this up right then throw an aid, we can ghost over the gap, skipping a fight and a button push. We drive forward to hit another trigger, then backpedal and drive out of bounds again. After a short drive we can get back in bounds here so we can hit another trigger. If we bonk this wall then turn around again, we can just get back out of bounds again. We want to run along this wall and hop off here at the right time to land here. We cross this gap and set up for the hardest jump. This lineup is rough but I got there eventually. After we land though, we have to roll down the hill and hit another trigger and boost back up again. We re-enter the level here and head for the temple. I grabbed a plasma pistol along the way and noob combo the 3 honor guards to end the level with a time of 5:29, bringing us over the 1 hour mark with a total time of 1 hour, 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
The Prophet of Regret is planning to activate Halo.
Our first category 3 level wasn't too rough. I saw Naked Eli do some grenade jumps to bypass this level and get to the gondola that leaves, but I could never pull this off, so instead, once I spawned, I head to the right immediately and out the door. We can spawn kill these 3 elites here and snipe the one behind. Out here there are 5 sniper jackals we want to neutralize immediately. Once the coast is clear, we want to move up and around until we're back outside. After another encounter with sniper jackals and elites, we wait for the gondola. I don't know how I did it, but something I did despawned the phantom that usually drops off 2 hunters. If anyone could explain this to me, I'd love to hear it. A pelican drops us some weapons, so after grabbing a BR and sniper, we ride along. Some drones and other enemies later, we hit this facility and move on through. Once everyone's dead, we ride the underwater gondola into the underwater tunnels. Room 1 with the grunts is simple enough, whack the ones in your way and run on through. Room 2 can be bypassed super easily without killing anything, and room 3 has some snipes and headshots to get through. Another gondola ride and we're back outside. More combat later, we get another weapon drop and more marines join us. BR Sniper reigns supreme once again and we clear a path to the next gondola. I'll let my marines tank some aggro here to let me board safely. There's 2 banshees here we have to deal with, but we have copious rockets here to deal with them. The other gondola that passes has some ranger elites and fuel road grunts which can be dangerous, but once they're clear it's a straight path to the regret boss fight. But unfortunately there's no invincibility glitch to abuse here. We have to board regret 5 times and each time you deal damage more honor guards will spawn. Sword elites are effectively useless and can be avoided. But the plasma rifle elites, and especially the dual plasma rifle elites, are the dangerous ones. I used noob combos to dispatch them and kept doing damage to regret. I got the fight second try, giving me a time I'm super happy with, 26:24, and a total time of 1 hour, 30 minutes and 45 seconds. Another category 1 level. This one is standard affair for the Arbiter. We just run through the hallways and camel past enemies where we need to. Every so often I take out a sentinel to ensure safe passage, but it's just run through and clear everything we can. Once we hit this room with the enforcer however, we want to shoot these pillars ASAP then hide underneath. If we wait a sec then camo and run out to press the button, everything will just magically die. We ride the gondola till we get a shot on this enforcer here. This needs to die ASAP. It's best to carbine the legs and follow this with 2 sticky nades. Once it's dead, a door will open and sentinels will appear to fight the flood. We can camo through and continue to traverse the hallways. Once we grab a sword, we're big chillin'. We're gonna need this. Once we're outside, we want to beeline to Halfjaw to begin the holdout section. To make this go quicker and safer, I recommend stickying the turrets as Halfjaw is invincible and does far more damage with his sword, and the flood can also use the turrets, which is just really annoying. Giving your elites precision weapons is also a really good call here. Once your phantom spawns in, the level will end, giving us a total time of 11:16 and a total time of 1 hour, 42 minutes and 1 second.
In the center of this zone is a sacred icon critical to the great journey.
This is another category 1 level, as well as another drive and don't die level. My favourite. We'll grab a ghost and immediately boost through. We can lift the nose of our ghost to get over some obstacles and enable a jump like this, which skips some triggers. Most importantly, it doesn't spawn a rocket flood here, nor the 2 scorpions which are usually here as well. We're meant to dismount, but we can finagle our way through and keep boosting past enemies. I do dismount here though, and camel pass and flood. I'm not on foot for long though, because I grabbed another ghost and kept on going. There's a Goss hog here that can be trouble, but if we dismount, camo, then get back in the ghost, we can't be seen for the duration. Once we hit this gondola is where it gets good, and by good, I mean slow and boring. We're meant to hold out, but we can platform up top and sit inside the geometry in safety and wait. For 5 minutes. Riveting. Once it's over, we can walk to the icon and end the level with a total time of 8 minutes and 47 seconds, and with a total time so far of 1 hour, 50 minutes and 48 seconds. I'm sure you all know what's coming next.
Fate hath us meet as foes, but this ring will make us brothers.
It's our second and final Category 3 levels. It took me 3 days to get an acceptable time. My first attempt, which I performed live, was an absolute train wreck. In my defense, I knew nothing about the despawns and hadn't played the level in nearly 3 years. My final time was over an hour and 16 minutes, which wasn't bad all things considered, but once you realise it took me 18 minutes to get out of spawn, it puts the rest of my struggle into context. Given how hard it was, I put it off till last. Off stream I grinded so hard, nearly to the point of tears. I learned the despawns in the first room, where if you stand right you can skip 4 waves of enemies, but I failed to learn prison skip. After a lot of struggle I got a time of 42:20, but in the day afterwards I got a soul crushing 42:16. Not what I wanted at all. It took me a day to cut 4 seconds when I needed to cut 6 minutes. Then one morning I woke up and I decided to give it a go. Either I got it this time, or I just accepted the 42-minute time and cut time elsewhere. I don't know what clicked, but I pulled it off. After so much struggle, many tears, and feeling like giving up, I got a 36-minute flat completion, a time I was more than happy with, giving me a total time of 2 hours, 26 minutes and 48 seconds, 33 minutes and 3 missions. Let's do this. A nice and chill Category 1 level to cleanse the palette after the disaster that was Gravemind. Again, this is just standard affair for our boy Arby. We're going to use camo and run past absolutely everything. This level is extremely short, as once we get outside and clear this encounter, we can camo down to this rock and do a fuel rod damage boost to jump out of bounds and simply walk to the level end trigger. If we crouch in this spot, we finish the level. I got a nice, cool 2 minutes and 48 seconds, totaling our time to 2 hours, 29 minutes and 36 seconds.
No, I don't want to chance a remote detonation. I need to stay here.
Another Category 1, this feels like an Arbiter level just without the camo. We just want to run through as much as we can. There's actually a skip here called the High Charity skip that I wanted to try but I couldn't quite get it. So instead we're just going to run through, sniping with the beam rifle where we can and make crossing areas as easy as possible. We want to keep on our feet and moving till we reach this room. We want this Flood's rocket launcher stat. It's crucial for a section later, and by later I mean right now. After this elevator ride we want to run to the left and fire off 2 rockets to thin the crowd. With any luck this kills enough brutes to make the others berserk, so we can just run on through. I didn't manage this, but got through nonetheless. After the next lift, we snipe enemies in our path and hit the level end trigger with a time of 6 minutes 42 seconds, bringing our total time into the last level a solid 2 hours, 36 minutes and 18 seconds.
I must get inside.
Then mount up, Arbiter. I know a way to break those doors.
Category 2 for the last level. It's short and rough, but we got this. We want to run forward and immediately grab a ghost. The game wants us to use the Spectre, but that vehicle can go fall off a cliff. Once we grab the ghost, we want to boost straight to this door and back again. Far enough that we despawn all the enemies. Usually to open this door we need to kill everything, but despawning also works. We drive our ghost through the facility, pulling this jump here by lifting our nose. I got out at the bridge and sniped everything as I really don't want to deal with drones this late into the run. In the next room we want to free some imprisoned Covenant, so they'll start infighting with the brutes to save us some time. Once the door opens we can just camo one through. Once we reach the Scarab we want to walk back a bit till we hit a load zone and back out again. This despawns even more enemies, meaning we can just fly our Banshee to this spot and wait for the Scarab. In an actual run they bring the Spectre from spawn to this point, so they could take it into the Tartarus fight and duplicate Sergeant Johnson, but I'm dumb and didn't want to try this. Once Johnson shoots the door, we can fall off here and enter the fight early. I hate this boss fight. I wish I just did the Spectre stuff, but I'm dumb and stubborn, so here we are. We just wait for Johnson to land 3 beam rifle shots to break his shield, then lay into Tartarus with dual plasma rifles. Every so often, brutes spawn in as reinforcements, so we want to headshot them ASAP so they're not an issue. After a few more damage phases, Tartarus goes down, finishing the level in 20 minutes and 38 seconds, giving me a total time of 2 hours, 56 minutes and 56 seconds, beating the 3 hour mark by 3 minutes, giving me the monopolized achievement, the last and final one. By no means is this a leaderboard time, but I'm happy with it, and it's still faster than Cody Miller. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching this series. It's probably the most fun I've ever had with gaming in general. I'd love to try doing full game runs. I haven't decided which Halo game yet. It's a toss-up between maybe CE, Reach, and 4, funnily enough. I actually had a lot of fun with 4, I can't explain it. As for other content, we're definitely doing Forza Veloci and Infinite. I want to plan an all-day stream so we can just blow through it in one sitting. Because even on Legendary it should be too rough, I hope. It gives you like 8 hours, so that's more than enough time. I'm also hoping to move to a more consistent streaming schedule, as when I can really isn't too viable. I'm so glad you've all stuck with me through this journey, and I hope to make more great content as we go. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, I guess. Thank you.